set. This is like the 3rd time it's happened now. Animals, you all are. God damn.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's just basic courtesy. Wait. We've got chairs for waiting.
True, we do.
Like, I keep on motioning for people to sit down.
I sat, I waited. I would love to get on commentary.
I try and establish rules, but no one cares. It's like the only rule is rules can only be established by winners or something.
No, it's just you got to be listened to.
Yeah.
Except they don't. So why bother?
Still bother. I don't care. Be courteous.
Keep repeating. I mean, don't be like, hey, you
want to stream?
Guys, respect your stream text. I'm gonna turn on the mic.
I just
Guys, respect your stream text.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
Why not get a frozen bottle of water though? That's the
Hey, it's PR'd.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Your bottle of water is PR'd.
That's terrible, and you should feel terrible.
I do feel bad.
But
okay,
if you don't
now
feel
we're seeing
terrible now, don't worry, you will, because we got Flarg versus Dill. This is patience on patience.
This is going to be a long set.
He does have Bayonetta. He has a very strong Bayonetta. However, it's his Wario that really made him a known force on the island. Maybe infamous would be the more proper word.
Definitely.
Known for being an incredibly patient player, not afraid to wait out the clock, and not afraid to force you to approach with all the tools at your disposal.
Are we going to see 10%? Are we going to see a 10% timeout?
That'd be dope.
I wouldn't put it past Flarg. It would be very interesting to see, but
Oh, it's something he's not afraid to do, and he's done in the past to many players' chagrin, but like...
he's just...
He could do it. He could just do it. But then again, Diddy Kong deals plenty of damage to all of his hits. So,
and they're fast hits, too.
yeah, I hope you're all a fan of those classic brawl VODs of players winning by just mere percentages, because you're getting a bit of the throwback.
This takes me back to when a good buddy of mine timed me out in a friendly.
That's the good showmanship. That's when it's like... That's just a fresh reminder that this world is not fair to you.
It's just...
Make your own way.
He beat me by grabbing and getting that one pummel, because it was a 1% difference.
That's how it goes. Though, I would like to take note that the differences in the stage provide this this platformless layout rather often, and it's during this time that we see that Dill is able to take the lead over Flarg.
Which is very nice. I mean, this is... Because Flarg can't rely on these platforms to run away, Dill can go in on him. And now you're going to have to see Flarg actually trying to rack up that damage so that he can go back to, you know, playing that very patient style that he is known for.
Though, just a quick reminder, as we see this Wario blinking a little bit, the longer that we play the time game, the better it is for Wario as a whole, because he's going to be having that waft build up over time. And you may have noticed, Flarg has been eating the banana peels to take them off the board, and he's also been eating the peanuts from the peanut pop gun, so that Dill has less of an influence with his zoning game.
Does that help? Does that help charge a waft?
It does help, and it heals him by 1%.
I see. So if Dill just throws a bunch of bananas, Flarg can get in. Flarg can just get that little bit closer.
Yeah, it's a matter of keeping himself, you know, ever so slightly healthy, but also making sure that he constantly has a resource on board.
Oh yeah, and that waft is a very, very scary thing.
Yeah, it's the limit cross slash before limit cross slash.
Like Dill is currently in kill percent because of waft.
Yeah, you know, this notion that a player can constantly keep themselves healthy while playing incredibly passively, forcing the opponent to play their own game, those sound like attributes that can be applied to John Numbers out in the city, who is a player that Dill is very familiar with, not only playing often, but beating quite often as well.
Yeah, I don't exactly know their record, but I'm... with the waste of the waft there. But yeah, I don't exactly know him and John Numbers' record, but I can assume it's even, maybe?
It's a bit further in Dill's favor, just because Dill is one of those demons of John. He just knows his playstyle far too well, and he's not really able to do much for getting around it. He's got his wins here and there, but it's Dill who sits in stronger favor.
And I mean, I think that shows just the fact that he's so used to that very patient playstyle with how he's dealing with Flarg.
And we see that he finally takes the lead, sitting at 106% in counting, but it is a lead now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a matter of Flarg is able to catch up in time, or if Dill's going to be the one to play passively and, you know, have that classic runaway game.
And here we go. I mean, now Flarg's going to have to get that KO, but... And Wario definitely not want for options, good KO options. I mean, that back air is incredibly strong. And I mean that up air.
He has potent options in the air thanks to back air and down air. And it is going to be back air that's going to take it with only 6% locked on Flarg.
Which is definitely still a very doable matchup, especially now that he has that 20% lead just about with about 2 minutes left, a little bit less, but he's definitely going to have to hope that he can keep tacking on a little bit more damage, maybe just before Dill's able to get in, and maybe get a good stage transition for him.
Yeah, the percentage deficit now sitting in favor of Dill. Dill with banana in hand, he doesn't have to really do much of anything. However, Flarg does a good job of occupying a lot of space just by throwing the bike. There's a ton that he mixes up just by putting it out there, whether or not he's going to reuse it for movement with his side B, if he's going to eat it, if he's going to throw it. You can even see once it explodes, he eats off a small part of the bike, so he still has something to charge up his waft and to build up a bit more pressure. We see that the waft is now fully charged, the bike bouncing a little bit. And now we see that Flarg is doing a bit of fishing for it. However, you can't get antsy against the Diddy Kong with these kind of percentages on board.
Will punish you hard for it. Actually, one thing that I do want to but recount is the fact that last week, a lot of the games that Dill played, at least in the higher echelons of the bracket, did go very close to time. They did take a while.
He is a player who recognizes the importance of patience and seeing that once your opponent flubs up, you could take advantage of them very easily, especially with the tools that Diddy Kong has to offer.
Oh, yeah. Especially, just waiting for that one little bit of flub tech, getting hit with a banana, and then a very hard punish. Which, I mean, I can see happening possibly in this set. I mean, with 20 seconds left.
That's going to do it.
There we go.
Banana throw into the up smash.
Flarg was just getting really hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, which makes sense. I mean, with how much he was eating all those, bits of even a motorcycle.
That's terrible, and I hope you feel terrible for it.
I always feel terrible.
Listen.
Nice.
My job.
We have the token off of Diddy Kong. However, I don't know if we're going to be seeing the character switch.
I don't believe we will. I mean, he played that matchup very well. I don't think there's really any reason for him to switch characters unless he just wants to.
He wants things done a little bit more quicker and in his momentum favor, so we could be seeing the switch to Sheik.
I haven't seen Dill Sheik.
It's very potent. It's one of his characters that he switches to whenever he feels that Diddy Kong doesn't have the right kind of tools to take advantage of the player. We've been seeing his Mewtwo more and more, however. Sheik is the classic to go alongside his Diddy Kong.
But we do see him staying Diddy Kong, which I honestly see no problems with. He played that matchup very well. Flarg just, did some flubs there, and we do see them going back to Town and City.
So Banana on board immediately. Flarg taking to the top platforms and eating the bike instead of waiting to reutilize it.
I mean, again, just that bike getting that waft charged up, just that little bit extra, which I definitely understand. I mean, with such a powerful tool like that, it changes. Even if the player doesn't really see why, it changes how your opponent is going to play, no matter what.
So platforms are off the board right now. We'll see if anything changes now as we just see a series of short hops from Flarg, just trying to threaten with this tomahawk spacing. But it's Dill who's going to be the one to break the percentage finally with a minor amount. But 50. In the grand scheme of things, this is what gets the pendulum swinging.
The pendulum?
Pendulum.
I thought you were talking about the one that took 14 out of the 15.
I don't see a Zelda here, so that's irrelevant.
You know what? That's good, because I really wouldn't want to see Flarg Zelda.
Oh, he has one. Don't talk to him about Zelda.
I don't want to. Anyway, back to the match. Back to the match at hand.
And we have a 50% deficit in favor of Dill as Dill racks up damage further and further. Flarg just trying to play this waiting game, see if he could use that kill resource of his. But even when he has had Waft, the several times we've seen him in Game 1, he hasn't been able to utilize it well. He just hasn't gotten his opportunity to come in on Dill with the Waft.
No.
And Dill, he did whiff it the first time that we saw it.
Dill playing very patiently with it. Dill playing it saying he has this extremely powerful option that can mean the end for me. So let me just wait it out and play the game that he wanted to play. Like that.
And we will be seeing the first stock taken. Oh, you even see the little flash at the end that Waft is now fully charged.
Yeah.
If Flarg decides to, finally go in, he has his resources.
With only 35%, I mean, now currently climbing on Dill, this is a very This is a real hill to climb for Flarg.
It is. He's waited a bit too long, and he's recognized that he got outmatched in the patience game.
Oh yeah.
Not only because it's Dill being more patient, so much as Dill was able to make more use out of the active time in the match. While the two of them were, just jumping around, you saw that Dill was doing a little bit of taunting. He had Banana in his hand, and he was ready to threaten a lot of space on Flarg, whereas Flarg was just empty hopping, just moving around with Bike, and Bike doesn't threaten as much space as Banana can.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not saying this isn't doable for Flarg, because if he really does play this right, gets that waft,
which
barely
whiffs and
just barely misses it. I mean, that was unfortunate. Like, if he, now with waft out of play, I mean, I'm not going to say it's entirely, because he can always play this extremely safe and get it back, but even if he's eventually able to take the stock off of Dill, this is a serious hill. And I would like to see how he's able to handle this.
Dill also just throw the Bike at him. I kind of like it. He put a little bit of damage out, and it's all you're going to need. We got the solid 2-0.
I mean, I'm not saying Flarg couldn't have done it, but playing against a Diddy Kong like Dill, it's definitely